Hey friends, it's me, Kayla Friday, and welcome back to my channel here at Little Cahaba Junkin. I hope that you all had a very blessed, fun Memorial Day. I hope that you took a minute to remember what this holiday is really all about the sacrifices made by the American servicemen and women to protect our freedom and those that have fallen in action. And just thinking about their families and all the sacrifices that they made. And again, if you are a veteran or you are currently serving or have family that are serving, thank you so much. We appreciate you more than you'll ever know. But as I mentioned in my last video, today here on Little Cahaba Junkin, we are going to be doing another craft video. So we made some scarecrows because everybody's got their gardens growing. Everybody's growing all their fresh fruits and veggies for the summer. So we decided to make a fun little scarecrow craft, or as I like to call them, a flare crow, because they're not very scary. And today we're going to be doing another craft. We're actually going to be learning how to tea stain really anything, but particularly tea stain the little flags that we use for our summer decor. So this is what you traditionally get here at the store. You see how stark white it is. But here on the channel, we love everything vintage. So we're going to be making them vintage. Let me actually get up where you can see better. So here's the comparison of the tea. And you can't really tell on camera because it's not showing up great. But anyway, if you've seen my videos, you know what tea staining is. And then I'll show some pictures of some befores and afters. But it really does work. It makes them look vintage. It makes them look loved. And it just really blends into vintage spaces better than just the stark white flags. Obviously, you can use the white flags. They look beautiful. But just for my taste, I personally prefer the tea stained ones. So today we're going to be showing you how to do that. And then at the very end of the video, I'm going to share some clips with you of what we did over this past Memorial Day weekend. So if you're interested in seeing how to tea stain flags and seeing what I did over Memorial Day, stick around. Okay, friends, so this process is super easy. It's a very simple, fun craft to do. It'd be a great craft to do with your kids. Obviously, don't let them boil the water if they're small, but it's a super easy, fun craft. So before you get started, you're just gonna prepare your supplies and gather your supplies. Obviously, whatever you're tea staining, in this instance, it's going to be our American flags. I actually just purchased these at Walmart a couple of days ago for this video. I already have like 50 of these small flags, but I'm gonna make some and take them to work to decorate our unit at the hospital. But these came from Walmart in a pack of 25 for $10. They were a little expensive, and these aren't actually my favorite. These came from Hobby Lobby, and I like them much better. You can actually take the flag off of the little pole. That way, when you're preparing your tea stain flag, it just doesn't affect the pole. But these are actually stapled, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna make it work. But gather whatever you're tea staining. We're gonna go ahead and prepare your tea, which I have done. You can use any type of tea as long as it's a brown tea or a black tea, and this is just plain old red diamond sweet tea. So just make sure you're not using any of your herbal purple green teas to tea stain. It just needs to be a brown colored tea. So I have prepared my tea. I just used this small little pan here, this small little pot, and boiled about 2 cups of water. And I'm gonna go ahead and pour my tea into this dish here. This is just a little baking dish. You can use whatever you want. You can use a bowl. You can stick it straight into the pot. I just prefer to do it this way because it covers the whole surface of the flag. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and take the flag off of the pole because we're gonna end up baking these in the oven to set the color. But that's why I didn't care for these that much. All you'll have to do though, obviously, is hot glue it back to there. But you're gonna take your flag and you are just going to poke it down into the tea and make sure that it is fully submerged in the tea. That's why I like using these rectangular pans here, because they work better for me as far as actually submerging the whole flag. So we'll go ahead and do a couple here. Sorry, Mr. Flag. And go ahead, at least these make good little stirrers here, and poke this down completely in your tea. Now what you're gonna do is you are going to just let this rest. You can put as many as you'd like, as long as they're fully covered. And you're gonna let it sit for about 20 minutes. That way it really soaks up all of the color of the tea. So we're just gonna pretend 20 minutes has gone by, and we'll come back here in a second. Okay, friends, and I'm sorry about the bad angle. I don't really have anybody here to help me. My husband's at work, so I'm having to use my tripod to film. But the next thing we're gonna do is, we've had our oven on at 200. Like I said, we're gonna be baking these to set the color. So just put your oven as low as it'll go. You don't wanna turn it up real high because you don't want a fire hazard. So my oven will go down to 200, so I just put it on 200. I have this old cookie dish here, or pizza dish, that I use for crafts. You don't have to prepare it or anything, obviously. Just very carefully bring your tea over to your area after it's been sitting for 20 minutes and soaking up the tea. And we're just gonna lay the flags onto the cookie dish. And then we're gonna pop it in the oven until they're dry, which is usually about 10 minutes at 200. So I'll be back and I'll show you the finished product. I told you it was super duper easy. Okay, friends, so we've been letting our flags simmer here in the oven. Getting a little parched. So we're gonna go ahead and take them out. Very carefully, use your oven mitts. And this is our new flag. It doesn't look like much, but I'm about to show you a side-by-side comparison of it and the stark white flag, and you'll notice a huge difference. So one of the tea bags had busted, and it's actually got some dark spots on it, which looks really good. So now I'm going to take you over and we'll show you what the finished product looks like. So this is a side-by-side comparison of our before and after. I just put it on this piece of white paper. This is just a recipe I had in my drawer, just where you can actually see the difference. So here is our stark white flag, and here is our tea stain flag, and it just looks so good to me. Obviously it's much more worn looking. It looks very vintage, and also, like I said, one of the tea bags had busted, so we've got some dark agey looking spots on here, which just looks really good. So essentially there is our simple craft, and it just makes everything look so much more vintage, and it just blends so well with your vintage decor. And I'm also just going to show you an example here. These are some pages that I tea stained, and they are the exact same way. Literally, this is a U.S. Army diary that I found on the internet, and it was a gentleman who was writing in his diary, and I just thought it was beautiful. And like I said, I have a lot of respect for our military, so I typed it up in this old typewriter font on Microsoft Word to make it look old. Then I printed it off, obviously on a piece of plain paper. And then you essentially just tea stain these the exact same way. You very carefully put your piece of paper down in your rectangular pan when you're tea staining. Let it sit for just a little bit. Usually for paper, I only let it sit for about 5 minutes. Then I pull it out, put it very carefully on the pan, and then bake it until it's dry at 200. Remember, you want to go very, very low on your setting in your oven because you don't want to cause a fire. And you do not have to bake it. To me, it just makes it set a little bit better and just makes it look a little bit more vintage. But anyway, that's literally all that we have to do. It's so, so easy and simple. Everybody was so worried about my sweet Buster Brown in my last video. He was taking a nap. He said I was getting my beauty rest. But he's fine. He's right here. Y'all know he's never far away from his mama. But I hope you enjoyed today's very simple, easy craft. Like I said, get whatever you're tea staining, whether it be a flag, piece of paper. You can tea stain old doilies, whatever you want to do. Get whatever you're tea staining. Get you a pot of boiling water and make your tea. You can do different lightness and darknesses. I usually use about 3 tea bags to make it pretty dark. That way it'll look more aged. If you want it to be lighter, use less tea bags. And just boil and prepare your tea. Pour it in another container, like I said, or you can put it straight in the pot, but I prefer a flat, larger surface. So I use like a baking dish, like you saw. Put whatever your tea staining in the baking dish and let it sit for a good 20 minutes if it's fabric. If it's a piece of paper, I usually do like 5 minutes because obviously it does not take long and you don't want your paper to dissolve and tear. Then transfer it very carefully to the cookie sheet and bake it in the oven on a very, very low setting and watch it the entire time. Do not leave it. And like I said, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you obviously don't have to. You can just let it dry naturally on a piece of paper or on a towel or something. But to me, it just makes it look better and it just crisps it up just a little bit more. But super easy craft, especially useful with obviously Memorial Day just went by and for 4th of July coming up. And I just love these flags all over our house. You'll see them in my summer tour coming up. Don't look at my nasty kitchen behind me. I've got to clean everything and put out all my summer decor, but I hope you have a very blessed week and thank you so much for stopping by. Stick around and I'm going to show you guys some snips of what we did over the weekend for Memorial Day. We were able to go out on my friend's new pontoon boat and it was so nice. I felt like a bougie rich person for a little bit. Then we were able to have a good church service, and then Buster Brown and I played in his new pool and we just had a really good time. So stick around and watch those clips. But again, be blessed. Thank you so much for coming by and watching our videos. Just remember our country. Remember to keep praying for our country and praying for everyone in it, and that the good Lord will just cause a great revival across this country and just end the division in our country and just bring us all together under the love of Jesus Christ, because that's what we all have in common. We are all children of God. We were all made in his image and we all have a greater purpose to serve. He has a plan for each and every single person that walks this earth, and we just have to give our lives over to him and just let him lead the way. So have a good week and I'll see you next time. Wave, Kimberly.
pretty baby. You swimming? Say, Mama bought me a poo and I love it. See, I just run and get hot. Then I come in here and cool off and drink and swim. And then I run and get hot again. Say, we love our $25 Walmart pool. Yes, we do. Now I gotta get hot some more. Time to run and play in the mud. So now that I'm wet, I gotta get muddy. Like a little pig. Buster Brown, are you a hog? Are you a little pig? He'll eventually roll all the way down this hill. Rotten, rotten.